What's up, everybody? Happy
Yo, yo,
Monday. Welcome back to
what's
another
happening?
episode of Starlight Beacon.
Yes,
JBM,
sir.
how you doing, sir? Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. As always,
Yeah, yeah. It's been a good long week.
it has been, man.
TGIF.
Yeah, how was your week? Yo, how was everybody in the chat, man? How was y'all week, man?
Yeah, let
Definitely.
us know. Let us know what's up.
I know
How
I'm
was your
happy.
week, man?
Hey, man, I'm ready for the weekend. I've been counting down to Friday since Sunday. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, what you planning to do for the weekend?
Man, I don't have any weekend plans. I was just ready for this episode of Mandalorian. And I'm just got some other videos that we can do for the channel. I got some things I can work on for the channel as a whole, some ideas, things we talked about
Okay.
earlier this week.
Yeah, man. I
So
can
yeah,
dig that.
hey, up at the top too. Before we get started, last Sunday we got to our goal of 100 subscribers, and I believe we are sitting at 104 currently. So appreciate
Yes,
everybody who
sir.
subscribed to
Much love.
us.
Much love.
Much love. Got to shout out my man Trevor because he was the 100th subscriber. I said I was going to shout him out, so here he is. I don't know if he's watching, but hey, it's officials in the books. You were the 100th subscriber, and we appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it, what was everybody's ranking? Like, we definitely want to hear about what
Hey. What's up,
what was
Kalisto? What's
your
up, Daniel?
what are your weekend plans? Are you ready for the weekend? But we also want to know what was your rating on a scale of 1 to 10 for this episode.
Yeah, man. Let us know. I give it an 8.5. This is 8.5 episode.
8.5. Kalisto, what's up? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Always good to see you in the chat. Always. Daniel, what's up, man? Or yeah, woman, lady. 7 out of 10. I didn't mean to. Yeah, I was like, oh man, I don't know. It could be. I'm tired.
Yeah.
7 out of 10.
Keep it a
No,
day. Unless,
I had it at a 7 this morning.
You did, and then upon further chats, recollection,
yeah, I pumped it up to an 8. I'm thinking
this is one of those slow creep episodes where, like, the real juice of it, you gotta let it simmer.
It is.
It's like a root.
It was. You know what it was for me though. Initially, one, I didn't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch it. I overslept, so it was like 5 o'clock when I actually watched it. And I was anticipating like a part 1, part 2 finale, right? Where this was basically we are left on a cliffhanger at the end of this episode, but the conversation would have started. And next episode we'll get the finale of the season 2. And this was definitely not that. And I was kind of like, I want a little bit more action. I wanted Moff Gideon, basically. I wanted the beginning of the confrontation with Moff Gideon. That's what I was looking
for. Moff Gideon's been in like what, a whole 2 minutes worth of the season so far.
Yeah, man. Like, he's been looming the entire season, but we ain't get him. We ain't got him that much. Yo, Kalisto with a 10. All right.
The big 10.
Big 10. All right. I haven't seen anybody give it a 10, but I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it.
Definitely at the philosophical, theological level.
It's absolutely.
10. Yeah.
And so after thinking about it, reflecting on it, I was like, yo, this was a very, very strong character episode. It's not a filler episode. It is a part of the main story. We are continuing that journey with the child, or Grogu, and Mandalore, or Mandalorian, Din Djarin, in their quest, which has turned into finding Grogu, locating Grogu, and this is very much what this episode is about. Like, and it kind of calls back to the earlier episode with Bo-Katan when they take off their helmets and Din Djarin is like, taking it back. By the way, this is a very spoiler-heavy episode, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want to hear any spoilers, you have been warned, because we are going to talk spoilers.
That was the first signs of existential questioning there.
It was, which I thought was cool. Especially in that episode, because like I was like, all right, so this is the first time he's introduced to a group of Mandalorians that don't have the same beliefs and ideals of what a Mandalorian is uh, that he does. So that was interesting because, for me as a fan, like the whole, got to keep your helmet on at all times, like can't let anyone see your face. That's a new concept for Star Wars that was introduced with this show, which I like, which is a cool thing, but it wasn't something that we've had to experience in the past.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know. I was curious to see how that worked because, I mean, you've seen the Clone Wars. Where are you at in Clone Wars now?
I am at season 7, episode maybe 3.
Okay.
They got back Echo from they was using him as some type of using his brain as some type of algorithm for war strategies, battle strategies.
Yeah.
So they went and rescued Echo. And that's
so yeah, you just finished the Bad Batch arc.
Shout out to the Bad Batch. That was a dope group.
Hey, that was a good trailer.
Yeah, the trailer was dope too.
That was a good trailer.
But with the Mando, when he first saw Bo-Katan and the group take their helmets off, he knew nothing about that way of life for Mandalorian. So like his group that tells me they're super conservative.
Exactly.
1. And number 2, social media does not exist in Star Wars. Because he should have known. He should have known somehow. He had no inclination.
He should have.
Like, man, information does not travel in Star Wars.
Yeah. Alice, what's up? Good to see you. Yes. So this is why it's called The Believer. Yes, it is. It is about, it is the continuation of this internal struggle with the Mandalorian and his creed and his beliefs about the way. It's a continuation of that line, which is like, that's why I upped the score. I had to up the score for it because I realized that this was a thing that they kind of set up in the Bo-Katan episode where that was the first time he had to question what it is, what his belief system is. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm glad. It's an interesting choice to use Mayfield as the one who kind of sort of would bring that home. And I wasn't sure about how they were going to use Mayfield in this episode, but man, I'm really digging his character now a lot more. I was cool with his character in season 1, but now like with this arc, I'm like he's up there now for me.
Yeah, this was his redemption arc.
Yeah, definitely. And I think last week I was talking about like I did not want to see like a full prison break type of thing like we got last season. I was like, yo, we need to like she need to pull some strings and like we just need to skip ahead to this. Like I don't want to linger on that.
Yeah, I knew he didn't kill him because they never showed him in season 1. Like I remember we talked about he was maybe dead.
Oh no, yeah. No, they're actually they do show it at the end of the episode. Like they're all in prison. Like the new.
They show that.
Yeah. He locks them all up in the brig. I think he broke out of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They do show it though, because someone, I think a group of New Republic soldiers finds the transport and they're all locked up inside. And I think that's like the last shot, or close to the last shot. So that was cool. It was different to see the Empire be kind of sort of the heroes in the midst of the conflict, because when they're getting ambushed by the transport, the Rhydonium transport. Well, one, you can tell Mando is used to fighting with Beskar because when he's in that hand-to-hand combat, like he
takes a few hits and
he tries to brace it, and it just doesn't. Like the armor gives. The armor gives. Oh, lost my camera feed there for a minute. I'm back.
You're back.
Yeah, like it was cool, like that they put that in there. And shout out to Rick Famuyiwa for directing this episode. He was the director of this, and he does.
Who was the director?
Rick Famuyiwa.
Okay.
He does some good character work and character development in the episodes that he's done. He did the episode with Quill, the introduction when they have to negotiate with the Jawas to get the parts back for the Razor Crest in season 1. Like that was an interesting episode. Yeah, and Rick also wrote it too. It was written and directed by Rick, so that was
Okay. Well, yeah, that showed well on screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was a good. It was a good strategy to use. Bill, what's the character that's played by Bill Burr?
Mayfield. I can't remember.
Mayfield. Yeah,
Mayfield.
Used his redemption arc in a way to use Jen's like revelation. Arc.
And and I like the foreshadowing in the episode with the armor, and him switching to Ma. What's up? I watched twice, and he gave it a 9.99 because he sacrificed quite a bit for the child. Yeah, yep. That's exactly why my score went up on it too. Yeah, so like that was kind of foreshadowing, right? Like when he puts the stormtrooper armor on, he goes somewhere in private to change into the armor, so nobody technically sees his face. And then he comes back on screen and he's got the stormtrooper armor on, and that was like the foreshadowing of it, like because then I don't. It's after that. That's where Mayfield has the conversation. They're in the transport, like still in the tunnel, and he's talking about like bending the rules and like trying to, everybody's basically all on the same team. Like we got all these factions. You got the New Republic, you got the Empire, you got Mandalorians, like all of these, higher level organizations. But at the end of the day, it's made of people and individuals, and like, we got to do what we got to do in order to sleep at night, which is, I think, is like one. It's a very true message, very true message, and like it resonated well with me with that conversation. Now that's where my meter for Mayfield started to go up, because I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
Mayfield got some depth to him
right here. Yeah, I was like, okay,
joke.
Yeah, check him out with the depth.
He had a scene with him was my favorite moment on the episode, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Oh, shout out! As a matter of fact, before we gotta talk about Boba a little bit too, because that man got a paint job on that armor. You peep that?
Yes, clean.
That's the cleanest we've seen his armor ever. that was pleasantly surprising. Surprising. It looked good too. I was like, yo, all right. And I'm kind of digging it with the robes, the black robes. I like that
robe kilt type.
Sick. Yeah, it's sick. It's like I'm really digging that look. Yeah, so now they're getting attacked by the pirates, the bandits, like, and it kind of has like what is it? It's not Tears of the Sun. What's the Vietnam movie?
Which there's a ton of them.
Yeah. Martin Scorsese directed, I believe.
Apocalypse Now? No.
Yeah, Apocalypse Now. When I'm actually, it may not be that, but I might be getting them confused. But they always have those scenes where like the troops are going through like a small town or a small village in Vietnam, and like you got the villagers on the side like looking like.
Oh, you talking about Full Metal Jacket?
I mean, yeah, Full Metal Jacket. That
wasn't Martin Scorsese though. Yeah, that was.
It's
what's his name? I can't believe that there's a GOAT director. I'm
blanking on it. Name. But yeah, so it's like it kind of it's like a callback to that, because they're transports are going through, the villagers are kind of like looking at them real suspiciously, skeptically, if you will, and then they fall under attack, and
the attack gave me like Indiana Jones vibes.
It did. I can feel that. Francis Ford Coppola. Thank you, Kalisto. Yeah. Shame on us for forgetting that. I knew that too. I just couldn't pull it.
Full Metal Jacket. He directed Full Metal Jacket. Thought it was what's his name?
That sounds right.
I got Stanley Kubrick.
Kubrick directed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tyson Rescue, stormtroopers cheering. Yeah, that was dope. I like that. Uh, I like that. I was digging that one.
Yeah, seeing
That
the Empire come through as a hero is like made my ranking for the episode go up. It's like,
yeah.
oh, that's a different perspective.
Hey yo, you know what's wild though? You know what I peeped
What's
about
that?
that when the TIE fighters come in, right?
Yeah.
You notice they still missed.
Yes.
They missed like every single shot missed. It was just the explosion, the of like the impact of the each of those laser blasts on the ground was what basically destroyed the pirate ships. Like I was like, yo, that is incredible. Like attention to
Oh,
detail, man.
was
They just
that? I thought they missed it first and then hit him after the
nah,
first
man.
few hits. So they
It,
just ran
nah,
into the explosion.
it was just yeah, it was the explosion. It was the shrapnel basically that blew up the ships. Like they missed and like they missed every
That's
shot
funny.
for the most part. I'm like, yo, they just can't. I'm like, either that's like the worst targeting system in the galaxy, or like these dudes just can't see. Like I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a combination of both.
Mm.
It's crazy though. I'm like, dang, dog, these cats can't hit anything. Uh,
Nothing.
and so yeah, like, and then they're the only transport to make it in. The stormtroopers are cheering on the side. Uh, they get inside the base, and then they locate the terminal. And something I kind of thought was like strange about it, but it worked, was like when Mayfield, he recognized the commander, he felt like, oh, he was going to recognize him. So he was kind of like, yeah, we got to find another terminal. They didn't really have time for that. But then when they go up to the terminal, and Mando this is where the existential crisis comes back for Mando. Like he's now realizing that he's got to make a choice between his creed or Grogu, the child, like what he cares for the most. Like back to
Mhm.
what Mayfield was saying, what's going to help you sleep at night? Uh, and he chose Grogu. Like he's like, I will bend and break my own rules just to save this child. Like because that, I mean, it's his son basically.
Yep.
Now, like
He's got love for the little boy
it's all love there,
or
which is
girl. I
like
don't know. Do we know the gender of Grogu?
I believe he. I believe he.
He. Okay.
Yeah. Um, that was such a powerful, like that was a powerful moment. Like, and then also really liked how uncomfortable he looked without his helmet on. Like beyond the fact that he was behind enemy lines and he was doing something, I felt like he was more uncomfortable with his helmet off than he was being that in that covert op, trying
Yeah.
to steal.
It's like being naked. You know? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that was a big moment for him taking that helmet off.
exactly. It was huge, and it was like, um, that was cool. And Pedro acted so well in that scene to me. Like he killed that because he sold me on that upon my second viewing, which is why my score is going up. I might be at a 9 by the time I get to the end of this episode. But yeah, man, it's up there for me. And then we get to he's fumbling. The commander walks over and he's like, he's kind of lost. He gets the coordinates, but that's when Mayfield comes back in. And he basically runs interference,
Yeah.
uh, saying that he can't hear. He's got since his cabin pressurized, and now we just call him brown eyes.
That was pretty funny. Mayfield came through, man.
He
Clutch.
did. He
Mayfield
did.
clutch. Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Empire would shoot better if they weren't wearing helmets. Yeah, they probably would.
Absolutely.
They
Kalisto
probably
made a
would.
good point too. Yeah. That's a good point, Kalisto. Just looking at that child, he probably saw himself in that child.
Oh yeah, yeah. What else? Yeah, great point. Uh, Compliments to your backdrop, sir.
Oh yeah. Thank you, Auntie.
Hig Hog, what's going on, man? Yeah, very powerful. OG Coop Daddy Yoda.
Yo, Coop Daddy Yoda.
Uh, it's in the building. But yeah, so then now we get like my actually this is my favorite scene in the show when
Oh
Mayfield,
yeah,
the commander, and then
yeah,
sit down at the table to have a drink,
yeah. It's my
because
favorite
then
scene too.
we get to see the um we get to
The,
see who Mayfield really is, like,
yeah, what motivates him.
yeah, like, and what was cool was that they name drop Operation Cinder. And are you familiar with Operation Cinder?
I thought I was, but upon further review, I do not know.
Yeah, so Operation Cinder is actually from the Battlefront 2 campaign. This is where we're
Ah,
introduced to
that's
it,
what.
right? So like Operation Cinder, for everybody in the
I thought
viewing,
I heard that from somewhere.
this is where the one of the Emperor's contingency plans is like, once if he is ever killed, then his enemies shall not have the assets of the Empire. So Operation Cinder was basically to burn the Empire from the inside out. And they were instructed, they being the surviving Imperials and the soldiers, were instructed to destroy Imperial worlds with basically weather machines. Um, these satellites that they flew in high orbit that basically disrupted weather patterns and caused like these massive storms that destroyed entire cities. And to Mayfield's point, like, I mean, thousands of Imperials were killed on different worlds. And this was like a key point in the Battlefield 2 campaign, because that's where the main character, spoilers, Iden Versio and um,
Who?
Iden Versio.
Who is that?
She's the main character in the Battlefront 2 campaign. That's who you play
Okay.
as.
Okay.
She kind of sort of turns coat because she's actually instructed to go to her home world and commit Operation Cinder there and oversee uh, the order taken out. And so, and she's on the ground. She witnessed the destruction firsthand, ordered
Mm.
by the Empire, and like that's what gets her to turn to the New Republic and betray the Empire. So yeah, it's a very contentious point for a lot of people within the Empire, especially the soldiers that were there on the ground. A lot of them disagreed with it. Some went through with it. Like some are just like, whatever. I'll do whatever for the Empire. So I was, you know, once again happy lore moment that they pulled that and used that as a reference point. And the way Bill Burr, because I have to give him credit for the way he acted the scene out. Like I could
Oh yeah, he
tell,
did a great job with that.
like
Great job with that.
he understood what it meant and what that moment was and what that act was. I'm pretty sure that they told him like what happened during Operation Cinder,
Yeah,
and he drew from it, and like he killed it. He killed that scene. Like I bought
yeah,
his anger and his frustration with the Empire, and that his commanding officer that he was looking across the table from gave the order to kill thousands of Imperials, and how he felt about it. Like he came across on screen brilliantly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Not only was that my favorite scene, my favorite moment was when he pulled out the blaster and just shot his old commanding officer.
No, like, yo, he was over there steaming too. He was just,
Yeah,
I was like, yo, I was like, yeah, I was like, this
because
dude,
he did a full flip. Because first he was like, "I'm not trying to go in this base. Y'all
he
should have
was,
left me in the prison. I would have
yeah,
been better off." So he goes from that to just like, "I'm taking all of y'all out."
bro. You could see him over there seething too. Like as the conversation went along, bro, he was just getting mad and mad. Like his whole essence was just getting darker and darker. And he was like, I was like, yeah, this is about to get ugly.
Yeah.
And then dude rose a toast, and he was like, bah! And I was like, oh. I thought the whole base was about to go crazy.
They did. They
It kind
did.
of did. They were kind of late on the response. Like it wasn't a lot of people around.
Yeah.
I guess
Classic
everybody kind of
stormtrooper
figured it out.
fashion. You know, they always late.
Yeah, yeah.
That armor heavy.
Best scene. Heem was good. Best scene.
What up,
That's why I gave
King?
it 8.5. All right,
What
all
up,
right.
Cad? Hig Hollow, what
Chad.
up?
Next episode needs to be 55 minutes. I can
I know,
bring it.
right?
I think we're gonna
Please.
get along. I think we're gonna get a longer episode. I can't see the season finale being short.
Yeah. Before I forget, Did anybody go ahead and mention this in the comments if you have? Did anybody notice the Office Space reference in this episode?
Office Space.
Yeah. From the movie Office Space with the TPS reports. Mayfield's character was trying to help Jen get out of that situation with the officer, and he was like, "Come on, man, we got to go do these these TPS reports." I was like, "Yo, they just put an Office Space reference." That gave me a point too in the rating of the show. I was like, this gets a point.
All right, yeah, no, I'm not familiar with that movie.
Coop, you gotta watch that.
I'll check it out.
It's hilarious.
TPS
report. Yes,
Alice got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was I'm not sure. I kind of felt like that was a reference because it was emphasized. Like I remember that him saying that specifically, and I'm like, all right, that's probably a reference to something. But okay, that's a cool little Easter egg.
Yeah, they're consistent with these Easter eggs too. Like it's like every episode, they look for a moment to put something in there. It's like just subtly great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Like it's just stuff, whether or not it's related to Star Wars or not. It's just it's fun. Like that's just good writing. Like it's just, especially with within this, this Star Wars entertainment. Like be entertaining. Do stuff like that. Yeah, it's even with the lore stuff. Like there is a difference between fan service and continuity, and a lot of what they're doing is continuity, and it just happens to be rewarding just to the fans. Like Operation Cinder, for instance, like you didn't really have to know what Operation Cinder was because they kind of explained it in the show, but like if you play Battlefront, you were like, oh yeah, I'm already hip, I know what happened. Stuff like that. They've been doing that all season, and last season too, but I think they've done like 3-4 times as much as they did last season in this one.
I wonder if they'll do use that same method in these new shows.
Absolutely. They're certainly. I think it'll probably get even deeper as we progress because they're seeing the payoff of it. Like I think this is one of the most popular shows, or if not the most popular show on TV right now. So they shouldn't have any fear of these types of references in their show because it's not losing anybody. If they were, because all they're looking at is analytics and numbers, and like now the numbers are showing that this is not an issue for viewers, so they'll continue to do it now.
Yeah, and with references like what's the spy thriller they're coming out with, Andor, yeah. I would expect them to have like the Delegation of 500 or Delegation of 500, right?
I feel like they should be prominent, yo. And you know what?
Yeah.
Before we get too heavy into that, Sunday on Sunday stream, we're gonna get into that because I'm gonna our Star Wars Sunday stream. For those of you who are interested who watch that, we're going to be speculating on all of the Star Wars news that came from the Disney Investor Day yesterday. And if you watched that stream yesterday, appreciate you because that was a very successful stream that we had.
Yeah, impromptu stream also.
Impromptu, man.
Like a day before we decided to do that.
Yeah. I mean, we in stream with like 70 views, so we appreciate everybody who tuned in for that. Yes. That was awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, so then we get into the breakout.
Yeah, and that was fun to watch. Like
it was
shooting through the I was calling them blinds, but
the big blinds.
The big blinds, big metal blinds.
Yeah, no glass, they just out there.
I know there's a name for it, but that's what we're gonna call them. Big metal blinds.
Big blinds, yeah. With some HGTV people out there can tell us what that is.
Yeah, what are those shutters?
Shutters. Probably shutters. That's probably the accurate term for it. They kick those out and make their window escape. And we got Kara and Fennec Shand, who, if you saw the Bad Batch trailer yesterday, you may have noticed that there was a tease for Fennec Shand in that trailer. So I think we'll be seeing her in that series. But you know, they don't have a problem hitting from range. They got their aim is impeccable. Like I don't think they miss anything.
Yeah, they didn't miss nothing. Mayfield's aim was on point too.
Yeah, Mayfield.
He
That
dropped the
that
bomb. I'm glad they took that out because I was like, man. They mentioned that this whatever that explosive material was, they said that's going to help them. Rhydonium. Yeah. So I was like, yes, take that out.
And that was a cool thing because in that fight scene on top of the transport, that last container that they left open that Den took the explosive off of and threw it at the pirates, like he never closed it.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm glad they called back to that and like used that later. That was a cool way to tie all that together. And yeah, that was a heck of a shot. Mayfield got off at the end.
Yeah. And he was a sniper. That's what he did in the Imperial.
Yeah.
Line, right? He was a sharpshooter.
Yeah, and then you know what? That actually goes back to his first episode last season when Din was making fun of him for being a stormtrooper or ex-Imperial, and he says, "I wasn't a stormtrooper or something." Like,
yeah,
he proved it. Yeah, I can.
Said, put some respect on my name.
It's like, yeah, no one knows.
Yeah, Callisto and Cad made some good comments here. Yeah, I think they're gonna do some type of Magnificent Seven approach against Moff Gideon. Like Mando's gonna have his crew. He's gonna get Cad Bane back from the first episode.
Yeah, like they have to. I mean, it would make sense, right? Like I would say, I'm sticking with my prediction that we're going to see Bo-Katan, the Night Owls, and Cobb Vanth return. I think there's I think they may look for Ahsoka, but I think Ahsoka is going to be on her quest, on her mission. At this point in time, and we did get confirmation yesterday that the Ahsoka show that they announced is going to take place at the same time as the Mandalorians during the same time period. So I believe that when we last saw her, when she sent Mando to Tython, I think she went to Lothal to get Sabine, and I think that's kind of sort of where her show is going to pick up.
How is she gonna? So how do you think they're gonna link up? Because they haven't communicated since they last saw each other.
Who, her, Din and Ahsoka?
Yeah, no, Din and Bo-Katan.
I don't know. It's a good question. They'll probably just, I don't know. Maybe they exchange hollows off screen.
You know what might happen? I feel like Grogu will go to whatever Jedi answered his call for training, and Jin will go rock with Bo-Katan. He'll leave his old creed belief behind for this new creed with Bo-Katan, and that'll lead us into season 3. Fight for Mandalore.
Yeah, that could be interesting, and I'd be curious as to who and what Jedi responds to the call. It could be Luke. I still feel like Luke, like
Luke. I got this. We need to see Luke, man. We need to see a new Luke, because the prequel, the new sequel, Luke.
Yeah. I think no. They gotta bring Luke home. We got to get some Luke redemption. Yeah, I think I would agree. The Lavors are the shades, the shutters. This is a great point, Cad. Dengar, Boba, Bosk, Cad Bane. I believe I don't think Cad Bane is alive during this time period, possibly, depending on if they stick with what they had it written originally for season 7 of the Clone Wars. But yeah, no. Other than that, Dengar and Bosk are pretty good.
Who are they?
They are a couple of Boba's bounty hunter friends. We see them on the bridge of the um, Imperial Star Destroyer when Darth Vader commissions Boba to find Han Solo. Like Boss
Okay.
is like
You bring up
he's
some
the
images.
Trandoshan, like the taller Trandoshan, and you see
Transdoor.
Bosk also, I believe, pops up in
Oh,
no,
okay. That the dinosaur looking dude.
yeah, and Dengar is also one of popular bounty hunter. He's got like this head wrap. Um,
Yo, no, no. This dude is funny.
um, yeah, I'm assuming that Bo-Katan and the Night Owls are somewhere near or uh,
Oh
are
man.
planning their attack on Mandalore to liberate Mandalore. Um,
Yeah, they're planning for that battle of Mandalore, man. So I think they're just gonna be doing their thing, and Jen is gonna link up with them at the end of this final episode. He's gonna because if Grogu goes off with a Jedi, where else is Jen gonna go? He needs a new
and
purpose, and his purpose is most likely gonna be to fight for Mandalore.
yeah, I think we're gonna go heavy into that Mandalore stuff, and I believe it's possible that Boba Fett will go with them. They didn't
Nice.
announce the Boba Fett show, but from what I've heard, that's actually started filming. They didn't
Oh,
officially announce it, but uh, from what I understand, that's currently underway. So I'm not sure why they didn't announce it. They may be just waiting for the end of the Mandalorian, so they avoid any spoilers as to the fate of Boba Fett at the end of this season. Um, but yeah, I think we'll get a tease of Luke Skywalker at the end of the episode. We may not even see his face. It might be they might do what
oh,
they do
they gotta show his face.
with Boba. Well,
They gotta show his face, man. Come on.
unless they've cast him already, you know what I'm saying? Like that's why I said I don't know if they would
Like, are
show
they
his
gonna
face.
show a silhouette of him in all black and then his green saber come out or something?
Yeah, you see the black suit from Return of the Jedi, and like that the lightsaber hanging on his belt, possibly. And then that would be because I think that would be fine. I think everybody would get excited off of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But then that asks the question: will we see any of that in season 3? Like, will the child still be linked to Jen? Like, how are they gonna do that? You know,
um,
because it's
it's
like if he goes
I'm
off the
thinking
train, are they gonna? Is it a spin-off show now? What's gonna happen?
I'm still thinking that the um I'm still thinking that Moff Gideon is going to get away with uh um Grogu at the end of the season, and that's going to be a cliffhanger. However, we'll see the Luke Skywalker tease, like he'll show up on Tython at the Seeing Stone, and that's where we'll get that tease.
Oh, okay. I could get with that.
Mhm.
I could get
And then
with
I would
that.
also like to see at the end of it, like when Moff Gideon gets away, he gets on the Hollow, and then he's communicating with Thrawn. And from what I heard, I saw on the internet that they are in talks with Lars Mikkelsen to reprise his role as Thrawn in live action. So I hope that's a true rumor because like I said, his voice is already imprinted on my head as Thrawn's. So I definitely want to see him. He's got the stature, the height, the build. He's all and he can also act. He's not just a voice actor. So I
Yeah.
think it's no need to recast the character of Thrawn for live action. Just use the voice actor from Rebels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Voice actor and makeup. Daniel said he's hoping to see Mace. I hope
Yeah,
so too.
that's still a possibility too. It's
Man,
still a
they show
possibility.
Mace, they show Mace Windu. I'm gonna go outside and run a mile. That's what I'm gonna do.
They could. That's a possibility. Hey, I mean, like Mace is an option to me. Uh, Luke, like I said, Luke just seems like he's becoming more and more of a lot of a possibility. At this point, uh, Cal Kestis is still a possibility because we don't know what his fate is, but I'm not sure how rewarding that would be for the fans.
He's at the bottom of my list. Great character though, great story with the game, but I mean,
and I'm thinking
put him
that they
beside Luke and Mace. Like we need some big pullers here.
I agree, and I'm thinking that possibly because we don't know his fate, they may want to just save that for the game and just keep him like finish his arc with the video games first, and then bring him into live action.
Yeah,
because Dominic Monaghan is that's the actor that plays the character in the game. I believe that's his name. I believe it's Dominic. He's a real actor, so if they keep the character alive and around, because he's a popular character for the fans, do something to keep him out of the Skywalker sphere of influence, as I like to call it. And then once he gets older, like the actual actor gets older, they can always bring him back into like live action. Down the road, I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got a lot of comments.
Yeah, they blowing up. Thanks, Sif. Yeah.
Oh, congrats on 100. Yeah, appreciate you, Sif. Appreciate it. Still going strong. Trying to get to 1,000 by June.
Yeah, Cad mentioned no main characters died yet. I don't think any main character is gonna die.
I don't either.
Unless they decide to end what's her name? Cara Dune?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen either.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be in the Rangers of the New Republic show. She may not pop up in the Mandalorian.
At least her character.
Yeah, the character of Cara Dune. She could possibly. I'm pretty sure she's going to be I'm pretty sure Cara Dune is going to be in the Rangers show.
Callisto says Secret Base. Yeah, man, I want to see that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it's like, where are they? Like, are they in the Mandalorian system? Like, where are they operating? Like,
how big is the Mandalorian system? I know they had that one moon. I forget the name.
It's not really Concord Dawn.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a location. Concordia is also, but that's all within the system of Mandalore. In Legends, the Mandalorian had it like they had a whole sector, like they had thousands of worlds under their command. So that's not been moved into canon yet, but I could imagine that could be the case soon. I think the Ahsoka series is about Thrawn and Ezra. I am 100% in agreement with you there, Sith. That I'm fairly certain, like 99% certain that's what that show is going to be about.
Man, I gotta finish Rebels, man.
Yeah, you got to. You got to get to.
I'm on the Citadel episode of season 1. I think it's like episode 8 or 7.
Oh, have you already started Rebels?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know you had already started. What'd you think?
Yeah, so I like it so far. Yeah. So far, I like the so the Ezra's force sensitive, and the I forget the guy that's training them, his name, but he's like a pseudo Jedi.
Kanan.
Kanan. He's not fully. He's not a full Jedi Knight.
He was a Padawan when Order 66 happened.
Okay. Yeah.
He never made it to the rank of knight.
So he's like Ahsoka, in a sense.
Nah. He didn't. He was younger than Ahsoka when Order 66 happened. Like he was probably about Ahsoka's age in season 1 when Order 66 happened. So he was probably 15, 16, just starting his training as a Padawan under Depa Billaba.
Okay.
But Kanan is like in my top 5 Jedi Knights of all time, and you will, as the show progresses, you'll see why.
Okay.
Yeah. It gives me a lot of Qui-Gon Jinn vibes.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah. Mace was always so purposeful, so it would be amazing to find out what he's been doing. Yeah, yeah, he does. He does. That's a great point.
Kid
Um,
in my love.
bro, Kanan is awesome, man. I'm trying to tell, like, that's he's up there for me as far as Jedi Knights, man. Like that's when Rebels came out the same time as the sequel trilogies were like had begun. Like Force Awakens, I believe, and season one of Rebels came out in the same year. I want to say, or maybe they were like a year or two apart.
Mm-hmm.
And as it's only 4 seasons, Rebels, and so it's these seasons are coming out concurrently with the sequel trilogy, and I'm like, how are we getting this level of storytelling here on the animation side, but like it's like not translating over into the films, like. And I was just like, man, if they ever give Dave Filoni like a PG-13 true to form Star Wars like project, I'm like he's gonna kill it, and he's proving me right now. He's proving me right. So, oh man, I like Darth Nihilus. That guy is a beast. He can destroy planets with. Yeah, that could. If they ever do something in like the old Republic, and they bring in Nihilus, I would. He's my favorite. That's my favorite Sith Lord. Just because he's like the dark side of the Force incarnated. Like he's the truest, to me, the truest form of the dark side. I would like to see him in the make an appearance in the sequel to the sequel trilogy. So in the next trilogy of films, when they announce that, like if there's a big bad, I would like it to be Nihilus.
That'd be a good villain. I mean, it's always good to have just an OP villain.
Yeah, like he would be the one, because one, he can destroy worlds with the Force. Like so it's not like you're not creating a Death Star again, but like if you put in a being that can use the Force to drain the entire life essence from a world, like, and I'm talking like living creatures all the way to like plant life, like he would leave worlds barren when he uses his ability. And it's like, yeah, everything just, it would be lifeless, completely lifeless once he used that ability. That would be like a monumental threat that, to those who say Rey is like OP, well, yeah, there's an appropriate villain now, like, because that dude right there is a problem. Because yeah, she's definitely not on that level. But that's a conversation for another stream.
Oh, that took me back to when she had the 2 lightsabers.
Yeah,
deflecting the
light. Yeah, the light. It's just, yeah, that was weird.
That's funny.
That was weird.
The power of 2. The power of 2.
So what are some predictions for next episode?
Yeah, y'all let us know in the comments prediction on that. One quick thing though, Boba Fett's arsenal is dope. Yes. When he dropped that bomb, whatever that was. That was a dope scene.
You don't remember that from the prequels?
Is that what he threw at Obi-Wan or something?
Yeah. Yeah. Those seismic charges.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what Jango was dropping in that asteroid field. I was like, I knew it as soon as like they panned the camera, because this is literally what I was about to bring up. When they panned the camera and like you got Slave One going up and the 2 TIE fighters in pursuit, I'm like, he's about to drop a seismic charge. And then it panned to the back and the thing opened. I was like, ah! I legit screamed. Like, I was like, yes, I wanted to see this. I want to see it. And I noticed that he had his EE3 blaster carbon, like that rifle. He has that back now.
Okay.
They showed it like when he gets off of Slave One, like early in the show when they pick up Mayfield, he's got it in his hand. And I was like, yes, he got his gun back. Like Boba's 100% back. Got his fresh paint job. Got his gun. Like the world is right. The world is right.
That'll be a dope scene to see him, Jin, and Bo-Katan and them all in the same scene.
You keep saying Jin.
What's it? Din?
Din, yes, Din.
Oh, I thought the D was silent.
No. In his last name, Jarin. Yes.
Okay, Din Djarin.
Yeah. Because Jin, I keep thinking you're talking about Jin Urso
Who is that?
from Rogue One, the main character.
Oh, yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Din.
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 And okay, so Cat is saying the Mandalorians versus Moff Gideon and the Dark Troopers. That's a popular thought, and I think that is going to be the case. I think we're going to get Boba, Bo, and Cobb Vanth and the rest of the squad versus the Dark Troopers, and we'll get a one-on-one between Din and Moff Gideon because Din he's got his spear, and Moff has got the dark saber, and we already know that Moff that they showed the spear can resist lightsabers because the magistrate was using that to fight Ahsoka. So that's going to be an epic battle. And we know that my man Pedro Pascal has spear training. He knows how to wield that from Game of Thrones. So hopefully this is going to be a redemption for him because I still don't like the way he went out in Game of Thrones.
I had stopped watching it after that. After that episode, it took me a while to start watching GOT again.
Yeah, they had. I was like,
man,
we had that
come
man
on,
dead
man.
to rights.
Y'all.
Hey, that was
the early sign of
sign, right?
early sign of those writers' foolishness.
That was a big yellow flag. That was a big yellow flag. Bo retakes the dark saber. So you think Bo is going to retake the dark saber at the end of the episode? That is a good prediction. I wouldn't hate that either. I wouldn't hate that. I don't want Moff Gideon to die though. I need Moff Gideon to survive because from what I understand, it's only going to be 4 seasons this show. So I'm gonna need Moff to survive. I do want to see Bo get the dark saber, but I think it's a little too early. And I still feel like that the Empire needs to win in this season.
If the Empire wins, there's gonna be some bodies dropping.
Yeah.
So who do you think, if they win, who do you think is gonna get killed off?
I don't know. And I'm not certain that it'll be like that. Like I think we're going to get like a Star Wars type of defeat for the Allies where they barely escape. But they kind of sort of have to lick their wounds and come back stronger. Because I think we're going to get like an Empire type of deal where like none of our, because I don't know who they would take out because everyone that's a main character is already gearing up for their own spin-off show. Like Bo-Katan is more than likely going to be in she might be in the Ahsoka series, and she might also be more prominent in the Mandalorian going forward. I still feel like Kara is going to pop up in the Rangers show that they announced. I don't know why they would get Carl Weathers, but he might be one that they sacrifice. Because I mean, here's the thing:
Carl Weathers.
If they go pick him up, right, I'm gonna be like, oh, he's gonna die. Because like,
he would be the one.
I don't see why they would. He was supposed to die in the first season, and he doesn't. He wants to direct more episodes, and so I believe that if this happens, he would be the hero that goes out because he wants to direct more episodes going forward.
Yeah.
Because he was only supposed to be in episodes 1 through 3. That was the contract that he originally signed, and then he was going to come on board to direct.
He's out. Next episode, they're gonna
kill
him. Carl Weathers.
Yeah, and then he changed his mind. So like he finished out the season 1, but I'm pretty sure he probably might. Well, he might. I don't know. I think he's probably the most likely person at this point, and the safest one, and the most impactful hero death that we could have at this juncture.
Yeah. If anybody dies, I'd say definitely Carl Weathers.
What's Grief Karga? Grief. The
saber.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I see. Here's the thing: if the Dark Troopers are made of Beskar, right? Like that's going to present quite a hard out for the heroes. Like I don't think they can win that given their current armament.
Unless they have a Jedi with them.
Possibly, but I don't think we're going to get a Jedi this season. Like I think that's where they're going to have to, you know, go and find some out there. That's where we might have to get a Luke Skywalker cameo. That would be a dope redemption for Luke to help the Mandalorians retake one to defeat Moff Gideon and the Dark Troopers, and to help the Mandalorians retake Mandalore. That would be a cool way to kind of sort of bring back the heroic Luke that we want to see.
What if Ahsoka answers that call, and then at the end, Grogu goes with Ahsoka, and she decides to train him, and then that's where the Ahsoka show picks up.
I'm not saying that's not a possibility, but I don't think it will be in this first season. I I think it's very possible that Ahsoka could come back to that agreement later. Um, but there's only so much I can say without spoiling Rebels, which is that's kind of sort of the crux of my argument, and I can't give my reason because it's going to spoil some stuff for you.
10-4, copy that.
Yeah. So I'll say that's my reason why, and I think she could. It depends. I think she could. I think she could. Um, I do want to see that combo, but I think they got to finish. I think they got to finish the Mandalorian, and then wherever the season, or well, wherever the show ends, then it's still going to leave room for Grogu because he's a yodeling, so he's got like 900 some more years to live. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yeah,
so
he's not going anywhere.
he's certainly not going anywhere. They're not going to kill that character. There's no way. It makes too much money. Grogu is a cash cow, and it creates opportunities for continuity because the character can continue to pop in and out of different stories that they've got um, planned out. Where where it makes sense, they can always bring that character in. Uh, so yeah, they've kind of they've created their um, a cornerstone character in Grogu.
Yeah, he's definitely a cornerstone type character.
Yeah.
I wonder what's gonna happen with Grogu. You know, is he gonna get a show?
So
What's
so
happening?
many interesting things, man. Like, because if
To be honest, I wouldn't want to see a Grogu show.
I don't think
Just
a
gonna
show
put
solely
that out there.
focused on Grogu, but I think that his arc could be interesting with his connections to Mandalorians and to the Jedi. Like that presents some interesting possibilities that doesn't warrant an entire show, but would make him an interesting character going forward. I also saw something. They've been releasing some new stuff for the High Republic.
Like
Um,
what?
some new like inside looks, and on StarWars.com they talked about uh I don't know who I forget the writer's name, but there's another book coming out after Charles Soule's Light of the Jedi that kind of
Hmm.
continues where that story leaves off. And featured are like three Jedi, and one of the Jedi they say is a lightsaber for hire. So she's a mercenary Jedi, and I'm like, what? Hold on, time out. When did this happen? Like they had mercenary Jedi back in the day, and
Hmm.
I'm like, yo, that could be an interesting thing for a Grogu type character where he's like a Mandalorian slash Jedi Force user. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like that would be kind of cool.
yeah, and for him to be 2 feet 2 inches,
At that, right? Like, yeah, like
young
it's
little knee knocker.
not part of Luke Skywalker's order. Not really. I don't know how. I don't know what that could look like. I mean, a nomadic type of Jedi, like a Ronin type of thing. That would be kind of cool for Grogu and Ahsoka. Um, That
I
would be
think
kind of cool.
Grogu and Ahsoka, like they could
That's
go together.
that's a dope
That's a fit.
combo.
I think that's a
Yeah,
good fit.
it is. And then like the fact that she can read his thoughts like through the Force, and like I like that. Um, I don't know. It's there's some possibilities. Like I hope they do some interesting things, non-traditional things with these characters. Uh, I loved the uh the references to Kurosawa in the Ahsoka episode
Yeah.
with like that was beautiful. Like that's such a beautiful episode, man. Like the way it was shot and directed. Uh, so imagine like the Ronin Jedi. Maybe not, they wouldn't be called Jedi Order, but like maybe some sort of Ronin Force group of light side Force users led by Ahsoka that kind of travel the galaxy and go wherever the Force wills, right? And you
Yeah,
know,
that'd be
Grogu's a
dope.
part of this. That'd be kind of cool. Like they just kind of go throughout the galaxy, you know, following the will of the Force, and wherever it guides them, that's where they show up. And so,
I would
like you
watch
know, during like imagine like during the sequel trilogy, like they're in another part of the galaxy because the Force has called them there. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that would be kind of cool. That wouldn't be kind of cool. That would be really cool. I would love to see that.
Yeah, yeah. See little Grogu flipping around.
Yeah, man.
Ahsoka using them like a volleyball or something. Just
What?
like,
Oh,
bam, go over there.
right, the teamwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yoda had that. He has an interesting fighting style too.
Yeah,
That
it was
acrobatic
just
fighting style.
acrobatic hop around.
Yeah,
Like,
that joint was crazy.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I think uh I think it could be. I don't know. It could be like I like I said, like I want them to continue building out, and it seems like that's what they're doing. They're going to flesh out this universe in the time period between Return of the Jedi and the sequel trilogy. Um, and I think with a lot of these characters, like they can create. I believe what's her name, Kathleen Kennedy said. I think she said it's the extended Star Wars universe. I believe she said that in the uh, presentation yesterday. What they're creating, and it was so beautiful to see that like all those projects that they're working on. Like I was like, oh man, like that's exactly what I've been waiting for as a
Yeah,
Star
they've got
Wars
an
fan.
arsenal.
Yeah, and like everything they mentioned, everything that they talked about, like I was like, yeah, okay. The now we're getting into Sunday show, but like yeah, that the anime that they've got coming out, the Visions with the Japanese animators, that sounds very interesting.
I missed that one.
Yeah, you got to check that out. Like they've got an animated um project called Star Wars Visions that they've hired some of the top animators in Japan to, you know, be the creative leads on and create this story within the Star Wars universe, which I'm like, that man, I can't imagine how amazing
Yeah.
that's going to be.
Wow, we got some good comments here.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed that there was no series or movie live action about the clones. Yeah, that could be. You know, I think um if they had known the reception the Bad Batch would get, they may have done that in live action. And it might still be something they can do later down the road. Depends on what they do with the characters. Like they might transition that show from animation to live action if they keep all the characters alive. That could be interesting. And I think the Clone Wars is just something they can always go back to. Um, it's a galactic war. Like you don't have
Yeah,
to follow Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan in that
they've
group.
got
Like you can there's
they've got so much they
10,000
can
Jedi
pull from.
that you can follow in a number of clone battalions that they can do. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened somewhere down the road. Needing the dark saber. Wait, let me see. Let me go back. Maybe Bo loses the battle, but with the saber unites the clans to win the war eventually. Yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
could see
curious to see
that.
how she lost it the first time because
Yeah. I feel like that's gonna be an arc for season 3. Is her trying to get that lightsaber, that dark saber, and then
yeah, and I kind of want to
season
see that too.
4 is like the totality. Because you said it's only 4 seasons, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I would love to see that, like in that trio of Bo-Katan, Boba Fett, and Din Djarin, like in the, in the same show. Like, oh man, come on, like all of that.
Hey, at the end of the Mandalore, right? They launch a new show. It's called the Mandalorians.
Oh man, no, just call it Mandalore.
Or Mandalore. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
and
man.
Mandalorian. It's just and about them uniting that trio, uniting Mandalore, and building. Oh man, that would be fire.
Hmm.
That would be fire. Okay, Darksaber to unite the clans as motivation for her to help. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that we all in agreement on that one. That's a great point.
Indeed.
Is all the shows and movies?
I'm sure they'll make some more announcements, right? Before 5 years is up.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
no. This is going to be a yearly thing. Next year, um, they'll have another call in December, and they'll announce more projects.
They might
Um,
have more live action films for the next call.
yeah, yeah. And I think they're being cautious too because there are a lot more rumored projects that are out there that they didn't announce. Like I said, I mean, the Boba Fett shows is my main example. Um, that they didn't mention on this call, and I think they're just kind of sort of being safe with COVID and whatnot. They don't know really. Um, they don't want to be too ambitious. Uh, but they've got a lot more stuff in the pipeline. So I think as this year progresses, or as 2021 progresses, we'll maybe get a few more announcements. Um, we're likely to get some announcements on May 4th. They usually drop some news on Star Wars Day.
Hmm.
So we can, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear some more live action shows in development around that time, around May. And that's a good, it's, second quarter. So they'll have a better idea of how the outlook of the year is going to be. Nah, man, I understand. You're all good.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I'm
would love to
tired too,
see.
man.
Yeah, man. I think
Been a
we're
super
gonna.
long day.
Yeah, we're gonna call it in a few minutes here. Energy is dying down. Would love to see more exploration of third-party force orders outside the Jedi Sith diametry. Dichotomy. Yes, I said diametry. See, tired. Boom.
The geometry of the dichotomy of the.
Geometry. Oh man, I'm with you on that one. I think I want to see. They need to explore the Bendu. Um,
Bit what you been doing?
oh man. Uh, uh, Jeez, that threw me. That
Keep it together. Keep it
keep it
together.
keep it together.
KIT. Kit.
Kid. I would like to see that. What was there was another order uh um during the High Republic or right before the High Republic that they introduced in the comic book series.
I don't know. Lord God, what's up?
Order
Oh,
the Spectral something. Um I would like to see them do something with the Zepho from the Jedi Fallen Order game, like
the
give
ancient aliens.
ancient aliens that were once prominent Force users that seem to be kind of sort of the um, archetypes for or the precursor for the Jedi and the Sith.
Oh,
Um,
them Zephos, they know how to make those puzzles. Good gracious.
for real. Oh man, that would be kind of cool. There have been some rumors that the Rakata from the Old Republic, from Knights of the Old Republic, are going to make an appearance here shortly.
Who's the ricotta? My mind
Um,
instantly went to pasta.
the the alien species from Knights of the Old Republic that built the Star Forge, the super weapon. They had this infinite empire that was the first empire in the galaxy in the EU, and um, they all of their equipment, all their technology was based entirely around the dark side of the Force. So like it was their
Oh,
computers, their ships, everything, all their technology was powered by the dark side, and at one point, they conquered the entire galaxy. There was an uprising um, with an alien species known as the Eshka, which they enslaved. They defeated and enslaved, but it was kind of like a chink in the armor because before the Eshka invaded, like they had basically dominated everyone they'd come across.
mm,
Um, and then the Force did something strange. Like it created the Force created like a disease, a plague that spread across the Rakata Empire, and it cut them off from the Force, so they couldn't use the technology. And like the that led to rebellions, as
oh,
the other
wow.
species within the Star Wars universe began to um, learn about the ways of the Force. And so like as like the humans and like all the Twi'leks and the Wookiees and like all the other species that the Rakata enslaved
Hmm.
began to learn of the Force and how to control their abilities, like ancient like the Infinite Empire began to crumble, because that plague was spreading through their empire, and like it was wild. That would actually be a kind of interesting series, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
that'd be cool. You might want to go deeper into that on Sunday too.
Yeah, that's man. I got so much like that I want to do on those Sunday streams.
I'll be
Uh,
out too Sunday, by the way.
okay, okay. But
Working
yeah,
working that main job all weekend. Got to keep
got
those
it.
servers up and running, man.
Hey, bro, listen, gotta do what you gotta do. I'm saying, gotta bring in
The moolah, baby.
the moolah. But yeah, hey, I think we're gonna call it here. We're an hour 12 in. We're gonna make it to the hour 15 mark. But appreciate you everybody for joining us this late Friday night.
Yep, yep.
Uh, been a great episode. I'm looking forward to the season finale. Make sure
Absolutely.
you guys tune in tomorrow on the cookout at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on this channel. We're going to break down the entire Disney Investor Day. So that's from, pretty much just what the most exciting news was of the night for us. Um, going to dive into the Star Wars stuff. Of course, we're going to talk about Marvel, Disney, Hulu, like just everything. We're going to cover that to an extent. And then on Sunday, we're going to do some speculation. I'll be here um, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about the Star Wars stuff exclusively and kind of speculate on what these shows could be about and what they could possibly lead to going forward. A lot of exciting things happening, a lot of new content has been announced. We're going to be super busy on this channel with covering a lot of this stuff. So make sure, please subscribe, spread the word, man. Share the videos, like the
Hmm.
videos. Make sure you get the word out to your friends. If you like the material that we're creating, the content and how we cover things, man, please make sure you go and share these videos with your friends. Let them know what we're
Absolutely.
doing over here on this channel.
Yeah, yeah,
JP, you
yeah.
got any closing remarks?
Hey, just thank y'all for joining us. Be well. See you tomorrow. I will be an hour late because I'm working until 9 p.m. tomorrow. So I'll hop on the cookout right at 9.
Oh, wait. See that?
Oh, yep, yep. Appreciate that, Kalisto.
Awesome. See?
Yeah.
So hey, oh Kalisto, yeah, you've been spreading the word.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Much love,
Daniel,
man. Thank you, Kalisto.
look, we converted someone from a 7 to an 8.
Hey, that's what's up.
Hey man. All right, cool. So hey, appreciate y'all for joining us. And like I always say, peace, love, blessings, and may the force be with you always.